everybody. Welcome to the Built to Serve podcast. I'm Tori Garrison. Today we have Eric Welford. It's great to have you. Thanks for coming on board today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, let's just jump right in, dive right in. I almost blended the word jump and dive right there. I think that's jive, but I don't know. I just made that up. But let's jump right in. Tell us a little bit where you're from, maybe a little bit about yourself.
Originally from Lucedale. I started off in Lucedale, Mississippi till about 6th grade, and then I finished school out in Greene County. And now I'm in Hurley, Mississippi, not too far from you, I don't think.
There you go. Yeah, that's right. So where'd you go to high school at?
Greene County in Leesville.
I got you. Play any sports or anything, or just stay out of trouble?
No, I played baseball, but stayed in trouble. But
Oh, both, huh? Well, hey, that's a good combination. What position did you play?
I was left field and pitcher.
There you go. I played shortstop most of my life, and then I moved to third. They move you to third when you get slower. And I knew when that was starting to happen when they kind of moved me over. So even in softball, I played third base. But they said, why didn't you play first? I'm like, well, because they throw too hard. Right? That ball comes across there too hard. So tell us a little bit about what happened after. So you went to high school, Greene County. What'd you do after high school?
High school, actually, I went to work for my dad for a year or two, maybe 2 years. Worked for him for doing cell phone towers.
Cell phone towers. I had a job offer one time with a cell phone tower company, and it was so weird because the job offer the interview went great. They showed me where my office was going to be, how much I'd be paid, ready to go, right? I mean, I was super excited. It was in a tower downtown Mobile, Alabama. It's where my office is going to be. And they said, hey, it was on a Friday. They said, we'll call you back on Monday and get you going. And that was about 30 years ago, and still waiting on that phone call. So, but tell us about cell phone towers. What did you guys do with cell phone towers?
Oh, man, it was a lock and key job. We done, if it was a new site, then we done everything from the dirt work to the digging the ditch, conduit, pulling the wire, putting the equipment in, stacking the tower, the coax, building the fence, whole nine.
There you go.
Or we had some that we just done some maintenance or, swapping some stuff out.
How tall are those things? What's the ones you guys do?
It depends. It depends.
I got you. Too tall for me, I can promise you.
Yeah, I wasn't a climber.
Oh, yeah.
I was a ground hand.
It's not that I'm scared, but, some things is just why? Why go that high? It's just too high. That's good. So what happened after that? Where'd you go after working with your father?
Let's see. Worked for him and then pretty much went to Afghanistan.
So went into the Army after that?
Mm-hmm. Well, I joined the Army in high school.
Okay. All right. So how old were you when you joined?
I was 17.
Yeah, me as well. Your parents had to sign with you?
I looked at my mom and said, you can sign for me or I'm going to sign when I turn 18.
My mom didn't quite go that way. My mom was like, okay. She was excited to get me out of the house. Mom, just kidding. So tell me about that. So where did you have to sign at? Where'd you sign up at? Was it at school? Were they a recruiter came through there? Or?
It was at Lucedale. So actually, it wasn't a planned thing for me to even. In the back of my mind, I always thought about there's this little. You're a boy, you play with GI Joes and whatever else growing up, and I always grew up hunting. So, there was always a slight thought about joining the military, but. It never was something that I pushed for. And a friend of mine, his dad was the recruiter at the time. And he was standing in the hallway. I was going to English class. He said, Welford, where are you going? I said, I'm headed to English. He's like, you want to get out of it? I was like, absolutely.
Absolutely. That's what I was thinking.
So he's like, just come in here and sit down. He's like, you ain't even got to try. Just take the test. I was like, sweet. Test I don't have to try on. I just breezed through it. And I remember I did try, and I guess we'll get into that story later, but after he told me I passed, and he went into recruiter mode, and he'd known me since 6th grade, so he pulled me into the Lucedale unit, the combat engineer unit.
Yeah, they're really good, man. Those recruiters are good.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what training they go through, but if we could kind of tap into that in the EHS department, we'd be on to something. We need to look into that because they're good. They know they know exactly what to say, when to say it, how to say it,
yeah.
So I came into the Coast Guard, and the first thing they do for us is you're interested in the Coast Guard? And I'm like, yeah, And they said, can you swim? And I'm like, oh, man, I'm a great swimmer. So they slide this pamphlet over there to you with one of the, at that time, an aviation survivalman coming out of the helicopter. I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to do. And we all know none of us did anything that we thought we were going to do when we got into the military. So what did you initially want to go into? Did you want to go into an engineering department, or what was you looking at?
I didn't have a plan, honestly. He presented it as, and what country boy don't want to play with bombs and shoot stuff?
Let's go.
I mean, blow stuff up.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I was at with it. But back to the test that I took, and I think I scored an 89.
That's the ASVAB.
I want to say on the ASVAB.
Yeah.
And
that's really high.
I didn't realize that I could have done a lot of different things versus what I did choose to do.
That's that good recruiter again.
Right.
He's like, I'm going to take the smart guy. I'm going to put him in something else. No, I got it. Yeah. Hey, that's really high. That's really high for that test. So that's a good job on that. So what do you remember about taking it? I remember very few things about the ASVAB.
I don't. I was skipping English class. I mean, I remember there might have been some math on there and some word problems and some reading comprehension. I mean, I don't remember much about it.
I just remember going, well, I failed that. I didn't think I did well at all. I thought it was like, because it was just so many questions. And then, the last thing in the world I wanted to do was.
Yeah, I don't even think I finished it.
I don't think I did either. That sounds about right. And then they're like, oh, I didn't score 89. I scored, I don't know, it was somewhere close to 80. I think maybe 80 anyway. So, yeah, I just thought I was lucky to get through it. So tell me, after that, how long after that conversation did you actually enroll? Now, he was an Army recruiter, right?
Right.
Did you think about any other branches, or you were like, I'm all in?
No, it was pretty much that one.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'd have been smart, I'd have went Air Force or
we got
Coast Guard or something.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we all make mistakes, ain't it right, Favre?
That's exactly right.
Favre knows. Favre knows how the mistakes are made.
Yeah, so I mean, after you get overseas and you see everything that they have, and I'm like, what was I thinking?
Well, when I was in the Coast Guard, we would pull into a port, especially at Eglin. Eglin was the greatest example. We'd pull into the Air Force Base there at Hurlburt, and their stuff was so nice. I'm like, man, look at all this stuff. They got a buffet, Yeah. So, things change. So how long after, I'm sorry, I kind of derailed it. How long after that conversation did you actually go to boot camp? So was it right after high school you went? Or is it a year or two? No, you went.
Yeah, it was, I mean, I was 17 still, so I turned 18 at basic.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
I do remember that, so.
Wow, you were young. I turned 18 in June, and I was in boot camp in like August, or July. Then where was boot camp at?
Fort Leonard Wood, Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's a famous place.
Well, lost in the woods.
Yeah. How many weeks was it?
I went down 14. I done the OSUT.
Oh, there you go. So you spent that long up there, and then you came back to your unit in Mississippi?
Right. Yeah,
okay.
I come back home. We actually, I rode home with my dad, and I want to say we come home and stayed up all night and put a turkey in the fryer. I don't think it was Thanksgiving.
Hey, that's a good memory. So did you, did your family come up to graduation from boot camp, or who all came up to graduation?
It was just immediate family, my brother and parents.
Yeah. It's a humbling experience after you see your family after so many weeks.
Oh, man. I was ready. I remember the first day of boot camp, and I had no problem staying off, or I'd already worked straight out of high school, but first day at boot camp, I was like, what have I got into?
Yeah. We would be marching, and I would whisper, where are we at? Like, because, it was just so foreign. Our boot camp was in Cape May, New Jersey, but it was just so foreign to me because I'm a country boy from Alabama, and being up there in New Jersey, I was just like, where in the world am I? So tell me about the first few nights of boot camp, man. Just tell me what was going through your mind and all that kind of stuff.
I don't know. I remember, I think I snuck a cell phone and called my dad, and trying to, I guess, hold back emotion. Yeah. I was like, this is it. Like, this is reality setting in.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah. You're here.
Like, no matter what I had done on the road and, worked in different states and done whatever, I mean, I guess reality set in about the choice you made.
Couldn't go home.
Yeah, that was it.
I was always thinking like Yeah, how long have I got to be here? Like ours was 8 weeks, and then we went. I went to the ship after that, after our cutter. But it was like, what? I can't go anywhere. And then the first day they actually let you. We went to our first big thing in boot camp that we could do that felt a little bit more like normal was going to the exchange and getting your uniforms. And just being there and people were actually talking a little bit, I was like, okay, all right, I'm all right. Our first, the problem that I had, though, is like immediately I started writing home. And everybody that I talked to before I left, I said, hey, you're going to have to write me or I'll come home. I'll forget all this. I'll just come straight home. So I would just get a ton of mail. I'd get tons of mail. Mm-hmm. And I was sending letters home like, hey, why isn't anybody writing me? Because like the first week and a half, you don't get anything. And my mom was like calling the congressman saying, my son's in boot camp. And he's telling me that he's writing me and I'm not getting him. Like my mom elevated pretty quickly. She elevated it. So those first few days, man, was a shock.
Yeah. I just remembered I didn't sneak a cell phone. They had these manila envelopes that you had your stuff in and it was stapled. I want to say it was stapled. And I remember pulling like carefully late at night. I was hiding in this little, locker by the bunk bed and folded these staples out and pulled everything out so I could call. And then put everything back like it was supposed to be. And I'm sure they knew, but.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal that people don't realize unless you've been in boot camp. That first call home is like, for weeks and months, maybe years leading up to boot camp, you didn't want to talk to your mom or your dad as much. But that first just hearing my mama's voice, I was like, all right, let's go. Ours, I'm a little bit older, so ours was a payphone. And we had to do 1 hour, basically 1 hour tours, like where we do 1 hour of security surveillance all night, 24/7. So you may just have 1 hour. If yours is at 2 a.m, you had to get up, get dressed, do 1 hour, and then you're out. Like it was crazy. So what we would do is like all four of us on patrol, one would stand outside the door and the other ones would use the payphones. And then somebody's coming, we'd get back in patrol, right? I mean, they had to know what, they're not. Like, if we went there now, we would know what people were doing. So I'm sure they knew what they were doing. But, man, for us, I had to talk to Mama quick. But I'll call you tomorrow night if I can. I said, be ready, maybe at 1 a.m. So what's the first major task in boot camp you remember? Like running, shooting, what was your first thing you remember?
I'd have to jump to the end and say, we were marching up to graduation and all the parents are sitting there and they hear you, singing cadence, and everybody, of course, when you first start off cadence, when boot camp starts, it sounds god awful.
Hey, Justin Bieber. Sorry, that was bad. That was a bad start. Yeah.
But I agree. But no, it's terrible.
Yeah.
And then, so I guess walking up to graduation and everybody sounds, in unison, and that proud moment.
It is crazy proud. So it's weird. I've been in the Air Force, I've been to multiple graduation ceremonies now, and I look at those guys, and they're so young. Yeah. And you're like, man, was I that young? But you were. You really were.
You thought you were a man then. I thought I was grown.
Yeah. Well, we were marched past, and everyone was sitting to our right. And I'm up front because in how we did in the Coast Guard, the tallest was up front because it makes your squad look bigger. So the tall people were up front, and they would say, eyes right, and you would look to the right, and then we go back forward. If you could just get past that one thing, that's the only thing I was trying to think of is don't blow this, don't blow this. So, all right, so you're graduating boot camp, you get out of boot camp, you head back home. What job was you doing back home during that time?
I actually got into pipe fitting.
Okay.
When I come back home, decided that I was tired of being gone. I graduated high school a half a year, or finished early, so to speak. So I left at Christmas and then went back to graduate or walk. But I worked doing cell phone towers and then immediately went to basic and come home. I was like, I'm tired of being gone. And somebody's like, man, I got this job open, pipe fitter helper. Didn't know that I was still going to be going on the road all the time. Right. So. But the
first job was close, I guess.
Yeah,
and after that,
it was close.
Yeah.
And then I went to Texas.
There you go. Everybody goes through Texas. That's pretty impressive. First of all, you finished high school in December, and then you went to boot camp. Then came back and walked. Is that how you did it? That quick, or you after?
No. I walked.
Okay,
and then I went to boot camp in August, maybe.
So during that stretch there, you were just doing cell phone towers,
pretty much,
or Staying in trouble?
You know, January, right after Christmas in January, I went on the road.
Oh, there you go. Wow, that's pretty cool. So you come back from boot camp. You're going back to your unit. Tell me what the unit felt like the first times that you visited the unit. You're in the reserves, right? Were you in the reserves?
Yeah, guard.
Yeah. Guard. Sorry, yeah, guard. So how did that unit feel when you first got there? What was your first days like being in the guard?
I remember this. I mean, we're good friends now, but I had talked to just one guy in particular. He comes walking through, and I guess I kind of related to him. And so, what's going on, buddy? I was sitting down against the wall, still as a private. You know, he goes to walk in this little office, and what's going on, buddy? And if you knew him, it would make sense. And he turns and looks at me and goes, "Oh, so we're buddies now?" And then just walks off. And I was like, "Dang." That's great. Maybe I shouldn't talk to that guy. And I mean, we've been great friends ever since. But
that's a good memory, though. It goes back to, man, it got real quick, real quick. And I just remember one of our first outings on the boat, we pulled into Destin, and I'm walking up to the Destin, the house there, and this officer's coming out, and I salute him. I go on in, and I was like, I've never seen an officer. It scared me because I've never seen an officer like that. And I get back to the boat, and they go, "Man, that was an auxiliarist you just saluted." I was like, "No, I didn't know." When in doubt, right? When in doubt. But it's those memories, man, that kind of carve in your brain and you remember forever for sure.
I ain't even thought about that memory.
It comes back. I'm telling you, that's what we do here on this podcast. We bring back memories. So what was? So how long were you in the Guard before your first deployment?
3 years. So I signed up for the 3x5.
Okay.
When I first signed up. And
now
then,
explain the 3x5.
So you got your, mandatory. Most people do 4 years, or I think. Actually, I don't know what most people do.
Yeah, change. Yeah.
I just done 3 years and then 5 years inactive.
Okay.
And so right at the end of my 3 year mark, or right before the end of my 3 year mark, we got orders, and I figured it was best to go ahead and re-up for another year versus spend 5 years in inactive status and be caught up as a redheaded stepchild somewhere to a unit I don't know.
Yeah, good point. That's a good move because that's how it happens. That's how it would happen for sure. So you get deployed. What year was that? You remember what year that was?
2010.
2010. Okay. So 2010, you get deployed. How many? Do you know how many people went in your unit? How many people were deployed?
I don't remember the exact number.
We talking about 200, 300, 400, or are we talking about like 50, 60, 70? What were we thinking?
So, I mean, it was 3 platoons. So,
how many people do you think that is?
A couple hundred.
Was it a battalion or was it?
No, we just went as a standalone 287th Lucedale. We didn't have nobody else go with us.
So it was probably just a couple hundred.
Yeah.
So a couple hundred people. So where were you deployed to?
Paktika Province, Afghanistan.
Afghanistan. So you left Mississippi. Where did you fly to from Mississippi?
Fort McCoy, Wisconsin. We landed in snow.
Yeah, that's not fun. Do you fly up on commercial or you flew up on military?
I believe we flew commercial.
Yeah, up to there. Then probably, do you fly commercial over, or you fly military over to Afghanistan?
No, we flew commercial.
Yeah, I thought so too. So you probably flew in. Where did you fly into going over? Do you remember?
Let's see. I remember we landed in Ireland, and
probably at Shannon. Was it Shannon Air Base at the time? Oh, okay. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know when they
shut
Shannon
was it
down.
Kazakhstan? I know we went to Kazakhstan.
Finally made it to Afghanistan. What was your first impressions about the sand over there?
I don't know, because we were more in the mountain range side of things.
That's right.
On the east side.
That's right.
Well, I guess it was a lot less desert than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, which people don't understand. The mountain range changes. It's huge. It's huge from one side on the west side to the east side.
Oh, yeah.
So you were on the mountain side.
Right.
So what was your first days like there? What was the impression?
I remember thinking that it was actually beautiful, to be honest. I mean, there's no street lights, and, I grew up in the country, so you seen more stars than you do in the city. But, man, over there, you see more stars than I ever thought possible.
That's good. That's a good point. That's a good point. I always, little side note, I've always found it interesting with stars because I remember as a kid, my daddy would say, the stars that we see today are the same stars that my granddaddy saw. I always thought that was interesting. So we would always talk about if you ever get to a spot where you feel like you're alone, it's the same stars I'm looking at, right? And I thought that's pretty good, Dad. Now, people wouldn't think my dad would have said that because that's probably the most sincere thing my dad had ever said. But I thought it was a good little point. So I'm sure it's pretty bright. We heard a guy the other day talking about a pilot was telling a story about them cutting off all the lights in their plane over Afghanistan and being able to see those stars.
Oh yeah.
So that was your first day in. How long did you stay in country?
We were there. It was a full year deployment.
There you go. Yeah. So tell me what were you sent there initially for?
So the first, I want to say 5 to 6 months of our deployment, our families thought we were pulling tower guard. And I think that was originally the statement that we got told when we got orders. And then somewhere along the way, it might have changed to route clearance. Now, that's the way I remember it. It may not be the way it exactly happened, but so our parents found out, our families found out. Sorry, we had a reporter ride with us actually so we were doing route clearance, and the third IED that my truck had ran over, we had the reporter with us. And he had this big write-up about it, and everybody been keeping it secret. So that's how
not a good way to
the
tell
secret,
mama.
yeah.
Yeah, not a good way to tell mama. So tell me, I've heard tons of stories, and being a chaplain, I've counseled a ton of people about this. I wasn't there. I didn't run over an IED. Tell me what your first thoughts were after you ran over your first one, or what were some of the thoughts of doing that?
I don't know if I had time to think. I remember my driver going, he was looking at the gauges, and he's like, oh, this still works. This still works. He's like, we're good. We're still rolling. And we had a guy in the back, and dust is everywhere. You can't see nothing. You can't breathe. And then all that pressure comes out that gunner's hatch. I was standing in the gunner's hatch, and all I heard was, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And, again, you'd have to know this guy. So he was not the brightest in the book, but he's like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. That's all I heard over the headset. So I jumped down off the gunner's hatch and get back there, and I'm checking him, making sure, nothing come through the truck. And finally find out that he's just talking about the dust that was floating around.
That's all he is.
I'm like, that is not something that you say right now.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll take dust. Yeah, explain a little bit more about that, because I don't know if I've heard the story about the pressure coming out of the hatch like that. So the IED, far you may jump in too, but so it blows, I guess, are you hitting it, or is it blowing up before you, or you're right beside it, or you got to hit it for it to blow up?
So, how do I describe this? Let me think.
Is it more like, it's like a pressure?
Now it depends. You have the ones that you can actually roll over, and they're set off by a pressure switch, or you've got some that are actually set off by
Cell phone or something?
Right.
Commandette.
Correct.
What were yours, the ones you guys hit first?
Ours were pressure plates. The ones we hit was pressure plates.
Okay. So, boom, and it sucks the air out of the top of that. How does it?
So if you're in this, 50 to 75,000 pound vehicle, and credit to whoever come up with this design, because it's probably what saved our lives and so many others, but it's 18 inches thick of pure steel it's a V-hull on the bottom. So when you run over this pressure plate and, the IED essentially goes off on your vehicle, then all of that pressure, I guess, inside, it's got to go somewhere. Yeah. And the only exit is the gunner's hatch.
That's interesting. Yeah, I bet that's a sight. There's that dust that's dust. That's everything, right? That's not just pressure. That's dust that comes through. And
yeah, it's whatever. There's dust appears out of nowhere in a vehicle that you didn't know was there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, understood. Well, if it's a military vehicle, it's got it in it. So that was the first few. Does it ever become, I guess, easier or more normalized the more that you hit? Like, you hit another IED, or is it?
Oddly, it did.
Yeah.
The first one scared me. And you hear that, so the sound I remember is you hear an initial, like, when it goes off, and then the explosion. And it happens like that, but.
Ears ringing.
Yeah, ears ringing, headache, whole nine, as long as your vehicle's still intact and nobody's hurt. I mean, that's about the worst of it. But I remember that at every one of them. And then by the time the third one rolled around, the first one, sorry, I know I'm jumping.
No.
The first one, before I even hit one, we had, by 2 months, most everybody in our company had either been in an explosion or near a vehicle that was in one. And the first one that we ran over kind of knocked the edge off.
Yeah.
Because you didn't know what to expect. And then you're always hoping that the next one isn't bigger than the last one, of course. But by the third one, I was just ticked off.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what most people say. I think most people say that it unfortunately becomes a little bit normalized. Like I had never heard the click sound, though. That's kind of interesting. So every one of them, you heard?
That's what I heard.
Well, that's all
I don't know. I mean, I remember hearing that.
Yeah. No.
And it was like it was a millisecond of the sound.
That's wild. So how many times do you think y'all run over them? How many times do you think you hit one while you're there?
Company-wise or me?
Just you.
Just me. I hit 3 in a week.
That's wild, man.
And then they moved me to the back of the convoy.
Because bad luck.
Yeah, I guess. I think the rule was if you hit 5, then you got to go home.
Wow, I hadn't heard that either. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely, it's a common. I don't want to say common. It's been people that I've spoken with. The IEDs are always a story. Like that's always been like the focal point of the things they remember, ones that they hit. And most of the time, it didn't end well. Did anyone's lives get taken during those things? Or
no, we never lost anybody to an IED or a firefight, thankfully.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
No, firefights was our bread and butter. We loved them.
Yeah, I mean, you're taking some bunch of country boys to the fight. I mean, yeah. I mean, we talk about it now when you roll up on bases. These guys in security forces are training for this. They're very, very trigger happy. They just want you to look at them wrong. You send these guys over there, and they're like, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, I was going to say, I hate to say that, we loved a firefight, but we did. I mean, it was essentially, I won't say the safest thing, but they couldn't shoot. No, man.
Well, I mean, come on. It wasn't like they were using the best. Not that would have helped them, but I mean, if you found one with a straight barrel, all the ones that they were confiscated afterwards are like, these barrels are not even that straight. I mean, it's horrible. Most of them were still using AKs, probably.
Well, they didn't know how to use single shot. It was always fully automatic.
All they
and by the time they started shooting and ended shooting, it would start horizontal, but by the time they were finished shooting, the barrel was straight vertical.
You've heard of spray and pray. I mean,
yeah.
I wouldn't even call theirs spray and pray. It was terrible.
Well, it's also why, if you go back and you read some of the accounts of that, why their snipers were so important. Because there were very few of them that could really actually shoot. So these guys were very well taken care of. They're guys that could actually do something. So, all right. Are there any particular stories that you have that you want to share from your time there?
Oh, there's several stories. Some funny, some not so funny. But one that comes to mind about a firefight. I was in the back of the convoy.
Yeah, like the bad luck guy.
Yeah, 3 IEDs up front. But so we get in this firefight, and the way they would do it is they would try to separate you. So if you went around, a curve and there's a tree line there, and they would wait until the bad luck guy gets separated by itself. I think there were still a couple of us that hadn't made the bend yet. And we start taking fire from a calotte, a mud house so far off. And I looked at my driver. I said something about get me out in the middle. I didn't have a shot because of the way this road was winding. I was like, man, get me out there. And this ditch, again, we're in a 50, 70,000 pound truck. This little ditch by the road was about that deep. And when that 70,000 pound truck hit it, it was about that deep.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
And we had the platoon sergeant, and we were in his truck. And he gave the driver the biggest
Yeah.
you know what, look.
Yeah. What you doing, man?
Yeah, when we hit that hole. And anyway, so we get out across this ditch, and I start seeing dirt flying up. And, you know, as I said earlier, they can't shoot most of the time. But this dust flying up is getting pretty close, and I'm getting kind of worried. And I turn and look, and it's the guy behind me, another friend of mine, and he's got the 50, and he points it straight down at the ground because he didn't have a shot either. And then he's walking it up next to my truck until he gets to where he's going so he can help.
Wow.
Then I felt better. I was, oddly enough, 50 bullets flying by me, and I felt better, but it wasn't the bad guy shooting at me.
Yeah, right. It's coming from your direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so if in those, I want to go back to one thing. You said mud house or something like that. What were they shooting from?
A Kalot.
So they just kind of mounded up mud or dirt or something?
It's kind of an odd mixture. Some type of straw, mud, whatever else they put in it, and I mean, probably last longer than some of the buildings we have here. To be honest with you,
we called them mud huts. Is that what you?
I mean, mud
hut,
mud house, a Kalot.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, so I think, man, I have tremendous respect for you guys that have been in those fights, and saying that those were the fun times. That's just, it's crazy to think about. It's crazy.
It becomes a normal day at some point. I mean, you adjust to that aspect of life.
When you're talking about these movements, that you're still in the mountains, right? Most of the time you're going around a mountain or something like that. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah,
I mean, around side of a mountain, or that particular one, we actually weren't in the mountains. It was more flat in that area.
So I it's a little bit of a personal question, but did you ever see any chaplains while you were there? Were there any chaplains down there with you?
we had several.
Tell me about how goofy they were, man. Tell me a story about a chaplain, because I know they were probably weird.
You was a chaplain, wasn't you?
I am now. I'm weird, but it's odd. I met some weird chaplains. Most of the weird ones are in the Army. I hope y'all see that. But anyway, so were they were probably back at base when you guys would come back from your routes? Is that well, most of the time they were? They wasn't with you guys, right?
We had one with us, actually, that was, I guess, in training, chaplain in training, or whatever you want to call it. But I never really paid attention to chaplains much, to be honest with you.
I love it. That's why y'all should be out there more and talking to your people. So, yeah, I think, again, all you guys have been over there, I just have tremendous respect for, especially how all that has turned out since then. But, I mean, you guys made an impact, and I think that's what's important. Did you ever have any conversations or any interactions with any of the locals that were there?
Oh, yeah, all the time. We had several conversations with locals and kids. Kids we even felt sorry for. I mean, there was this one kid in particular. Every time we'd come by, some of the, they could be 1 to 5 years old, and they would stand outside every time we come by and just hoping we would throw them something.
Yeah.
And this one kid, he had a Winnie the Pooh outfit on, like a little costume. All you could see was his face and his bare feet and his hands, and the rest was this Winnie the Pooh. And I think he wore that same outfit for 6 months every day.
And he's probably well known. Everybody that went out saw this guy.
You knew the little Winnie the Pooh kid.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, though. Yeah, I think we tend to forget how great we have it in this country, and I think at those, I've seen a lot. I wasn't there, but I've seen a lot, and you just become so proud that you're able to be here because that lifestyle is a little bit different.
Yeah, you definitely realize things that you take for granted here.
Yeah, so you start transitioning your way home after your year and a month or whatever that was, and so how quickly or how close to the time of leaving was your last engagement with the enemy? Like, was there a break there, or it was like 1 week you're in and 1 week you're out, or how was that? I always wonder about that transition.
There wasn't much of a break. I mean, we had engagements all the way up to the end, and we set up. So there was, when it come for time for us to go home, there was 3 different units, I think, going home the same time we were, or two other ones. I think it was 3 altogether. And the company coming in was going to choose the vehicles of one of us going home, like whoever had the better ones. And we set up a yard sale. Like we spot cleaned everything. And I'll never forget it. Nicky Brewer, he was a squad leader. He was, you know Nicky?
Nicky works for us.
Oh, really? For here?
Yeah, Nicky's, I can't remember what project he's on, but Nicky works with us.
I know something. There you go.
So it was. I actually rode with Nicky for a long time. I got some stories that we could tell in Afghanistan with that. But so we set this yard sale up. Theoretically, we just wrote yard sale on some signs for when they come walking through. We had to have all our trucks cleaned and spotless and try to have the best looking ones. Because if they chose yours, then you didn't have to have this long mission to deliver them somewhere to turn them in. And
that's pretty interesting.
Nicky and them had just got the truck, spotless. And somebody had hit what's the fire system called? The
suppression system.
The fire suppression. It sits on the truck.
Yeah. What's it called? It came in the Humvee. I had to take all that stuff out.
The truck was spotless. And I don't remember if it was Nicky or somebody else, but somebody hit the button and sprayed that mess everywhere. But long story short, they ended up choosing our trucks. So we had
That's great.
A little short mission to Serrano.
So if your trucks and your vehicles were in good shape, they left them there, so you had to take them to the next unit that's going to use them.
Right.
And if not, you had to send them further out. You had to take them somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know where they would have went after that.
Probably in the desert and buried. I wish we could find all that stuff. Man, anyway, that's interesting. Yeah, man, I can imagine that was a fun time to get that. Then you walk out there and it's full of suppression. I'm sure that was.
Oh, it was great. I was standing there.
Oh, when it went.
I was standing there when it went off.
It fills it up. It's pretty amazing. There's no fire can last after those things. It's just like, it's not foam. It's more of I don't know. It's not something you need to be breathing. That's for sure. What is it?
I think it's insulation.
Really?
Yeah.
The spraying? That's interesting. Well,
I don't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, it didn't.
Talking about the vehicles?
Yeah, inside the vehicles.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's all the insulation on the inside of the vehicles.
Okay.
All that 3M stuff that's on the inside of there.
That's what sprays out?
I'm talking about once you set the vehicles, once they catch fire.
Oh, no. He's talking about like once you hit the button, the whole vehicle fills with suppression, like the spray or the foam or whatever. We were just talking about how that's probably not stuff you want to
no
breathe. But yeah, after it catches fire is all that insulation that don't supposed to burn. So.
Oh yeah, and the buttons that set it off was in the most awkward spots. Like somebody would bump a button all the time.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. It's not a very good design, especially anyway. Were those Humvees or MRAPs? What were you guys riding in at the time?
Oh, we had the MRAPs.
Yeah,
thankfully.
Y'all they got the bad ones after that. So, can you imagine being in the Humvees during all that stuff?
No.
I mean, it's crazy.
Doing the job that we done, I would not have wanted to be in a Humvee.
No, flat bottom. That's why they flipped over so easy when they hit IEDs. They're just flat.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good stuff. So you're starting to transition out. You're coming back, and I find it interesting that. From the time you left Afghanistan to let's just say that you were back home, what was that period of time? 2 weeks?
Roughly.
So
roughly
probably
2 weeks.
2 weeks before that, you were probably in a fight of some type of, like 2 weeks before you left, 3 weeks before you left?
I wouldn't say 2 weeks, maybe a little longer, yeah. Within that month, there was something, I'm sure.
So from 6 weeks, though, you're in a gunfight in Afghanistan to sitting at home in Mississippi. Man, tell me about mentally how that transition was from that kind of situation to back home.
So, just pulling up and, seeing families again was probably one of the greatest feelings ever. And you made it through, like you lived.
Yeah, you made it. Yeah.
And then trying to adjust back. My dad said right after we got through over our demob and cleared from medical and whole nine, I helped him cut the grass in the backyard one day, and he said that's the most he'd ever seen me jump. Just anytime a rock or a stick or, how that makes that knocking sound inside the lawnmower deck?
Yeah.
He's like, that's the most he's ever seen me jump, like out of 21 years.
I mean, it does it to you. It's amazing. Now, again, please understand, I'm not comparing anything I've gone through to what you've gone through, but it's amazing what the military does to you, and just the different ways you look at things, the different ways you react to things. It's strange. It's strange.
Mm-hmm.
Even today, if I'm not, Favre and I've talked about it a lot too. If I'm not sitting with somebody I know, I need to at least see the door. I don't have to be. I'm not one of them guys that got like have a pistol sitting on the table or something. But I'd like to see the door. Even if I'm sitting sideways, I can see the door. It's just weird what the military does to you.
Yeah, I can't sit anywhere in a restaurant or it's a guy thing, I guess, for a lot of men. But I got to see what's going on or who's coming in. Or
I know this is weird, and probably never thought about that before. That I'm trying to figure out how I was going to pay for McDonald's Happy Meal. But so you get back home, and then from that point, where did you start working back? When you got back home, where did you start working? And did you stay in the Guard once you got back home, or was that the end of your tour?
Yeah, I stayed in until the following November. I think we come home in February, and I think my fourth year that I re-upped for that 1 year, it was over in November, and I figured after 3 IEDs, my luck was up, so I didn't re-up no more.
Yeah. I would say so. You're finished with that, which is, again, thank you for your service and all that. That's cool. So you're transitioning out. You're back home. Where do you go to work? One of the first places you work.
I want to say Performance.
Okay. Where was that at?
At Chevron in Pascagoula.
Oh yeah, fun times. How long did you work there for?
A year, 2 years. Favre, you may have to chip in on this one. I think it was.
I don't know. We stayed on small capital projects for quite some time, working for Jeff Shaw,
Right.
Robert Prentice, and them. It's a couple years.
And I was green as they come.
Well, I'm sure Shaw was very kind to you and nice to you, just like Jeff Shaw is. I'm sure he was very helpful. I hope he watches this. But
So that was my first pipe job, was with Performance.
yeah, it's a great guy to work for. I'm sure you learned a lot at that time. Yeah, Chevron was a beast. That was a beast during those times. Those were a beast. So I'm sure you got a lot of stories just about Chevron. We won't share those because being a client, we love you, Chevron. But so you stayed there for a little while. Where did you transition out of the Pascagoula? From there, where did you go?
So I left Pascagoula and went to Evonic over in Theodore. It was Degussa back then.
Sure was.
And then left Degussa and that's when I went to Texas on the pipeline.
When you come into Evonic, you come down that long road and you turn around. When you take a right, you head down toward Mitsubishi, the old Mitsubishi. Mm-hmm. No idea why I'm telling you this, but that's where we used to race cars. So when I was
was it between Mitsubishi?
It was between those long straights, and people would come out to the fence on night shift with chairs. They'd come out to the fence and would just watch people race those roads. It was so crazy, and I was like, this is probably not the wisest thing, but that was way before these times. We're talking about the late 90s. So we're talking about, kids don't race cars. It's very unsafe. But back in the day, I used to go through there a lot. So how long did you stay out there?
I went out there very long. I remember being out there and, they had the rail cars that run down the side.
That's right.
And, man, every time one of them would knock together, I'd want to take off running or I'd jump, turn around, or any type of loud noise.
And that is loud. So, you dealt with that, of course, which is understood. Are you still like that a little bit, the loud noises, or have you gotten some of that past you?
I mean, most of it's past me, but, it's been 14 years. Yeah, 15 years since we come home. But still, oddly enough, once a month, once every 2 months. I mean, I can't tell you how many times it happens, but there can be something in the road. And it's weird because you couldn't see the IEDs in Afghanistan. But even if I see something in the road sometimes, or I'll get something in my brain crossing a culvert, tense up a little bit. I don't let nobody see it, but
hope not to hear that click. I understand.
And it's not there.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, again, it's the way that your brain works. It's weird how it does that.
Yeah, when you get past it, I'm like, that was stupid. But
well, it definitely wasn't stupid because most people can't understand what you're talking about anyway unless you've went through it. So as we move on through up to where you're at today, I got to ask you. At one point, you did a little bit of singing. A little bit of singing there. So you tried out for a show. Tell me a little bit about that story.
So I tried out for The Voice. Actually, when I was during the performance time, and we went to Atlanta, what they call the cattle call audition. You stand in line, and what you see on TV, everybody's standing around the blocks, and this big, 300-400 people in line. Made it through the first one, and they called me back and said, you go back and sing in Atlanta again. And made it through that one. And then it was a week in California. They paid for it. They paid for the flight. They paid you, say, $800 a week while you're there, paid for the room. And I think that was for the producers. The room about, size of this one. Come home. I was home about a week, and they said I made it to the blinds, the fourth round. And then that's when you do all your camera work and walk-ups and, make it look good like you see on TV.
Yeah.
That's 4 weeks worth of camera stuff, and they put your picture in this beauty salon. I don't know. You have this room with all these women working. They take a picture of it when you first get there, whatever you're going to wear on the show, and you're not allowed to keep it. So whatever shirt I was going to wear on the blinds, I couldn't keep in my room. And I want to say that's correct. I want to say I couldn't keep my shirt. Three IEDs. I can't remember nothing.
Yeah.
But they your haircut had to be the same. Every time you done any camera work, you went in the salon and they had your picture sitting there. It was your turn, and they made you look identical to whatever it was that day.
Oh, so it all looked like you were.
So it all looks like one day.
Yeah, one run.
But
that's interesting.
They paid for your family to come up. Like my mom and my little brother came, and
Where at in California?
Hollywood.
LA? Hollywood. Imagine that.
I think it was Hollywood. I remember doing the Star Walk. I snuck out. So I had a friend from Greene County that had moved out there, and she snuck me out of we weren't allowed to go anywhere. You had to stay in the hotel. You had a casting crew, I think it's called, that worked for The Voice, and college kids pretty much, and they drove you around. If you wanted something, you got in a 15-passenger van and went to CVS and bought snacks, and that was it.
Wow.
And they drove you back. So I had 1 or 2 days off, I can't remember, and she snuck me out, and we went and seen the Star Walk in the Wax Museum and seen all the cool stuff.
Yeah, that is cool. So they called you back. You were in Hollywood. What happened after that?
So during that 6 weeks was the blinds. That's what all the camera work and everything else was for. But, my last name being Welford, sometimes a curse being at the end of the alphabet. There was 10 or 12 of us that didn't get to sing. The teams filled up. And they come in the hallway and little room we were waiting in and said, try again next year. No, you jumped the line, no nothing. It was,
you're done.
You're done.
Wow. Did you meet any of the famous people?
I didn't meet the coaches. So I don't know if you've heard of Cupid Shuffle.
Yeah.
That, line dance everybody knows. He was actually in the group with me to go on to the blinds.
There you go. And
so that was pretty cool.
That is kind of cool.
We had Sinbad. Sinbad's daughter was in our group.
I think I remember her. I didn't watch much of it. I bet I've watched, 10 episodes in my life, but I remember something about Sinbad. I think he was in bad health at that time or something too. I can't remember. But anyway, so how was that experience? Was that fun, or was that just just because you didn't make it, it was still fun?
Oh, absolutely. It was fun and an experience I'll never forget. I mean, you've got 100 people there for the blinds, and everybody can sing, and 3/4 of them can play an instrument.
Yeah.
I got friends in the music industry that I still talk to today.
Was you able to pick the song that you wanted to sing, or were they trying to?
Oh, no. They pick for you.
So none of that stuff you see is really real, huh?
No.
Oh, you're going to get in trouble now.
No,
our podcast is going to blow up because you're sharing all those secrets. So what song would you have picked, or did you use for your auditions?
So I actually I grew up on 80s and 90s country. So I sang a Keith Whitley song for the audition. And
which one?
Don't Close Your Eyes.
Yeah. So Keith Whitley was probably one of the worst tragedies in country music. Because just imagine what he would have been. He's one of my favorite. Keith Whitley, to me, would have been just.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's Conway Twitty level. He would have been something huge. He passed at 32 or something. He was really young when he passed. So, yeah, that's a great song. So did you have to sing that same song each time, or were you able to change it up a little bit?
No,
or?
I think I was able to do it twice.
I got you.
And then once I got to the blinds, I don't remember what I sang for the second. I sang it twice. I know that. I think it was the first and second time.
Yeah.
Because the first time was a cappella. Second time I could use a guitar, and then third time was a guitar. I think I sang something different. And the fourth time for the blinds, they picked Lionel Richie, "Stuck on You."
Get out of here! Really?
I practiced a Lionel Richie song.
Wow.
And we actually made it country.
Wow. Now, I mean, come on, it is Lionel Richie. I mean, some of that stuff is he's pretty. Some of that stuff's pretty cool, but that's not what I would have thought they would have picked for you.
At all, not me.
Who were the judges at the time? Do you remember if you would have made it that far, who were the judges?
I remember Blake Shelton was still on there.
Yeah.
It was Blake, and I mean, it was the original. I can't remember the other ones. Was it CeeLo?
Oh,
yeah, so CeeLo would have been on there.
Yeah.
Adam Levine.
Yeah, Adam Levine.
And would Christina have been there?
It wasn't Christina.
So it would have been before Christina.
That's pretty funny. Yeah,
Was it CeeLo?
I think if you would have made it, who?
Was it CeeLo Green or
Yeah,
was it?
No, it was
Green would have
CeeLo
been
for
there.
sure. That's before he got in trouble. I think a good a good duet between you and CeeLo would have been pretty awesome to watch. I mean, that would have been pretty good. Anyway, just for me anyway. That's really cool. So let's get out of there. You're headed back. You're finished with all your playing out in California. You get back here, and so how long ago was that? How many years ago were you trying out for The Voice?
2012, 13. I mean, whenever that was season 3 of The Voice. So.
Oh, you were early in. So you came back, and where were you working? You're still working at Performance at that time.
I was.
I got you. Now, how long have you been with Performance total? Like, if I know you left a couple of times or one time and came back, which a lot of people do that. How long is that total time you got?
Probably just 3 or 4 years total. Because
Gotcha.
my next performance project was Kemper County.
Okay. Wow, Kemper. That's a whole story in itself. So let's transition now, coming into the more to performance work. So, yeah, I know you're in the EHS Ready class, and they were able to put you in that class, which we're very thankful for. And tell us a little bit about how that has worked out. How is moving into this phase of your life? How's that going?
So it's funny. I always talked about getting into safety for the past few years, but I never was able to, just take off and take the time and go do it.
Right.
And, thankfully with this program that Performance has started, that y'all started, it's made it possible, and I've loved it so far.
Yeah, we think it's going to be something special. I mean, we're really on into our 3rd or 4th class now, and we really do think it's going to be something special. I think it's just a great way to introduce people not only to our industry, but those that are in our company able to transition into an EHS role. And I mean, we have, this department has grown so much, and just getting the right people in the right spots is what it's all about. So definitely appreciate you being part of that class. As we wrap up the whole podcast now, kind of tell us anything else that maybe we've missed, any other stories you want to share, or maybe your time here at Performance, or maybe in the military, or, family, whatever, anything you'd like to share with us and closing us out.
Yeah, we had a monkey in Afghanistan. No.
You had a monkey in Afghanistan.
We had a monkey.
As far as a history guy, is there monkeys in Afghanistan far?
I don't think there's monkeys in Afghanistan, but I think everything's for sale
I got you.
in third world countries.
If you got the right contacts, you can get your hands on whatever you want.
Yeah, I would say history is not what the word I meant. I meant more like, Animal Kingdom. He's good about those animals. But anyway, so why did you have a monkey in Afghanistan?
So I remember the guy in our platoon talking about this guy that he come in contact with, and he could, he's going through this list of things that he could buy.
What's some of them? What's some of the list?
Man, I don't even know. You could probably buy an elephant or something if you wanted to.
Roll it up.
Or,
all right, sorry. They'll have to get cut out, I'm sure, but that's all right.
you could probably buy an elephant if you wanted to, or a camel, or camels are in Afghanistan, but I can't think of anything.
And old dude said, "I'm gonna give me a spider monkey."
Next thing I know, he's got a monkey at a mission briefing, and he's jumping around everybody's shoulder, and everybody started keeping snacks for him, and he was like our little mascot.
Do you remember his name?
I don't remember. I don't even remember if he had a name.
Monkey.
I'm sure he had a name.
Oh my gosh, that's good. So we had a soldier I mean, it can only be Army. That just makes so much sense.
I've held back on all my Coast Guard jokes.
Well, I mean, you can say on Coast Guard's fine. Army, Air Force is harder. But so guy's got a monkey in his room in a cage, and he would come out to your briefings and sit around on people's shoulders.
Yeah, if he didn't like you, then he'd bite your ear or
bite your ear. That's awesome. Did he ever bite your ear?
No, he never bit mine.
Some of your friends. That's good stuff. That's good. That's good. All right, so let's wrap it up as this. I got a Baptist background, so that's 3 wrap-ups. But tell us about a mentor. Maybe we'll end with a mentor. Tell us about somebody in your life that created who you are and maybe made you.
Oh, man, there's several mentors. You know, my dad obviously being one of them. There's a guy I moved in with when I was 16, left home, moved in with him, and it was a good – I still had to finish high school. It was a good hour drive from where I was going to school at, and he helped out. I would come home while he worked. I'd have all the horses fed and everything done that, you know, I guess paying my way for, you know, letting me stay there and helping me get back and forth. But, you know, he taught me a lot and became like an older brother, and I still look up to the guy to this day. But
yeah, that's pretty cool. What all did you do with the horses? Did you compete, or you just?
He taught me that's pretty much where I learned the team rope.
I got you. Team rope was your thing.
And like I always rode horses, but you know, I learned a lot from him as far as that side of things goes. And
you know, team roping, you know, and any of that stuff is TV does not do it justice. You got to be there. The horses are big and strong and fast. It's pretty amazing.
I was told, you know, when I started, I was told 1,000 hours on the ground with a dummy, or 1,000 hours or 6 months before I could ever get on a horse and throw a rope.
Wow. Wow. I mean, it's pretty amazing. I mean, really, and those guys and ladies are so good. It's pretty amazing. You know, talking about horses, this will kind of date this video a little bit, but recently we had the Kentucky Derby, and the horse that won came from last place.
Yeah, the underdog story.
Pretty awesome story to watch that horse come up. And I'll tell you, if you've not watched it, even a greater part of that is watching the trainer. There's a female trainer, and she was about to lose her mind because she said, I think she said in an interview afterwards, I could be a little bit wrong, but she knew he had it in him. The speed was in the horse. But she was like, there's just no way he got so far behind in the beginning. It was a he or she, I don't know, whatever. Got so far in the back, you know. But when they started coming, she was like, here they come. I mean, it just lost her mind. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I actually just heard about it, last night.
Yeah, you ought to watch that video. It's pretty cool. So, yeah, listen, we're just so thankful for you. Let me say, especially from the EHS class, to what you've done for our country and what you're doing here at Performance Contractors. We are very thankful for you, and I'm so thankful for you to come on our podcast, just so people can learn a little bit more about you. I want to give you a couple things. I brought you a book. So Colonel Rob Campbell spoke at one of our events, and really a super guy, just a great story, and kind of just talks about leadership, and it's something that, you know, we believe a lot in here at Performance. And I also want to give you one of our Performance veteran coins. I'll give you this, Steve. Appreciate you, sir. Thank you. And again, we're just so thankful to have you here, and thankful for the stories that you shared, and man, we've taught us a lot about you. So any closing remarks you have?
I don't. I enjoyed it. Thank y'all.
Appreciate it. All right, guys. Thanks again for tuning in to the Built to Serve podcast. We look forward to seeing you guys next time. We'll be standing by.